And that one fouled off.
Well, in this situation with the runner on second, you've got to get him up to third. Think back up the middle or to right field.
So the tying run at second. Pitch is in there. And it's 0-2.
So now it's all about protect mode. Try to shorten up. Try to track the ball. Block it if you have to, as far as just a late swing that maybe you're not sure about. But some way, somehow, climb back into this at bat through the count.
And there's one down. Devers now.
You have to be careful throwing him breaking pitches, even in an 0-0 count. He loves going after the off-speed stuff, and he's really good at hitting it.
Ball one.
The Giants with the go-ahead run at the plate here in the top half of inning number 7. Swings through that one for strike 2. And Raffy falls victim to the K. Matt Chapman up to the plate now. 0 for 3 in this one.
Ball.
2 outs and 1 in scoring position. In the air, right field. And that's the 3rd out. Runner in scoring position, no outs. So here's Bader now.
In today's game, outs are valuable, so guys aren't just willing to give themselves up to advance a runner. They're trying to drive him in as well in the process. So I don't expect him to shorten up and just try to hit behind the runner here.
Got him looking for the strikeout. And here is Devers. So the tying run at second. And it's fouled off.
So now it's all about protect mode. Try to shorten up. Try to track the ball. Block it if you have to, as far as just a late swing that maybe you're not sure about. But some way, somehow, climb back into this at bat through the count.
Out towards right center field. Tatis on his way in. He's got it. 2 away now. And here is Matt Chapman. 1 for 3.
That's a ball.
Arrives, stands at second with 2 gone. Way out front for strike 2. Fouls it off, still 1 and 2. Man on second, 2 down. Fights that one away, still 1 and 2. Got him swinging. About to get started here. Zach Neto digs in now.
Number 9, Zach Neto.
On the ground to third. And it finds its way through for a hit. Man aboard. all set to go. Zach Neto getting ready to hit. The 0-1. Swing and a miss as he was out front that time. Stays alive. And a swing and a miss. And one out now. Bryce Teodosio, the next to hit for the Angels. He swings and fouls one off. Just getting started here in Seattle. Strike three, and that's 2 in a row. 2 outs, base is empty. Here's Trout.
Ball.
That one in there to Mike Trout. So a foul ball makes it 1-2. Got it. Strikes out the side to begin the game. What a start. And a big spot here for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Well struck left field. Way back there. It's got a chance. Pulls it in on the warning track. And a big spot here for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Fouls away the first offering.
Everyone here understands just how quickly things could change.
And that one ripped to left. Brings it in. That is the inning. And a big spot here for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. This to third. Base hit. 1 run is in. And a big spot here for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Fought off foul.
Everyone here understands just how quickly things could change.
Breaking ball misses down and away. In the air left field. Bellinger in position. And that is the inning. And a big spot here for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Everyone here understands just how quickly things could change.
And it's fouled off. So the tying run at second. Strike two.
Looking very settled on the mound here in the eighth. One more out, and they'll probably hand it off to their closer for the ninth with at least a 2-run lead.
In the air to left center. Grisham is there, makes the catch.
Things could change quickly here with one swing.
This one in the air center field. Grisham under it. And that's the third out. And a big spot here for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Swing and a deep drive. This one's got a chance. Way back there, and boom goes the dynamite. Sizemore digs in for the Guardians.
The center fielder, number 24, Sizemore.
Fought off foul. A 1 down. And a foul ball. The 0-2. Lined, and that's a base hit. So a runner aboard to start the inning.
Really nice job of two-strike hitting in that at-bat. You'll often.
So the Guardians lineup turns over. Grady Sizemore getting ready to hit. Scored the first run of the game back in the first after a single to reach base. This one in the air center field. And that's the third out. Sizemore digs in for the Guardians.
That's a ball.
That's ripped. Base hit. Man aboard on the leadoff single.
Seems like he got exact.
So the Guardians lineup turns over. And now the center fielder, Grady Sizemore. This one in the air center field. Thomas settles underneath it. That is the inning. Sizemore in the box as he fouls off the first pitch. All loaded up, dangerous hitter at the plate. Swing, and he popped it up. That is the inning. First and second, 2 outs. Grady Sizemore now at the plate, 1 for 3. Swing and a deep drive. This one's got a chance. Way back there, and boom goes the dynamite. So runners at the corners, nobody out. Hunter Goodman digging in for the Rockies. On the ground, 2 ball. The flip, there's 1. They get the out, but the run scores on the Twin.
You don't get ahead in the count, you can forget about having any success against it.
Rip, but it curls foul.
He's been pitching well, but going through this middle of the order second time through, we'll see what kind of adjustments are being made.
So a foul ball makes it 1 and 2. In the air, left field. That one gets down for a hit. And they have their first hit since the first inning.
Well,
ready to go for the last half of the inning. Now the Rockies catcher, Hunter Goodman. That's a bullet, but it goes foul.
all these Rockies being a little too patient at the plate in this game. They found themselves behind in the count quite a bit. They're trying to be patient, but it's mostly resulting in outs, not base runners. And you could argue it's making things more difficult at the plate.
Top of the 6th inning. And now for the Phillies, Bryce Harper.
Just not able to catch up to that velocity.
Swing and a miss. 99. How do you do?
That was straight queso right there.
Drilled out towards left center field. Reynolds going back on this one. To the warning track, makes the catch. Top six. And now for the Phillies, Bryce Harper.
Ball.
The 1-0. Drilled out towards left center field. Reynolds on the run. Makes a nice grab at a full sprint. And there's one down.
Every day.
Back here in Pittsburgh. All right, we go to the top half of inning number 6. Bryce Harper stands in for the Phillies. Nice grab. Over to first. It's there, and that's a great play.
Fastball.
Back here at PNC Park. And now for the Phillies, Bryce Harper. The 1-0.
2-0 count. You really don't want to give in here. You've got to work the edges, really execute a pitch. Hopefully you can get back into this count.
In the air to left center. Reynolds under this one. And there's one down. Back here in Pittsburgh, here is Bryce Harper.
Ball.
And the 1-0. That one fouled off.
Ball 2.
There's a swing and a drive. That one is back. Gone! Big dog's gotta eat. One down, runner at third. Edgar Caro steps to the plate for the White Sox. That one is absolutely belted. Way back there. And a foul ball. Oh, that hit him. To the plate, safe. And we... Now it's the White Sox catcher, Edgar Caro. He's already homered here in this one. It's a pitch out, nothing doing, and that's ball 1. The 1-0. And a big swing and a miss. This one in the air, center field. Brings it in. Runner tags from third. Tag, and he's out at the plate. Magnificent play to finish it. How about that? It ends on a play. One down, runner at third. Edgar Caro, the next to hit. He's already homered in this game. A swing and a miss as he chases way out of the zone. Not even close there. Ball 2. And that chops in for a strike. Breaking ball inside. Full count now. Swing and a ball driven out to center. Carrying well. Hold. One down, runner at third. Edgar Caro getting ready to hit.
Everyone here understands just how quickly things could change.
And that's in there for a strike, and now it's even. The Cubbies trying to close out a one-run lead here in extra innings. Now there's a bullet down the line, and that's a fair ball. In to score from third. And again, we are tied. Makes it to second. The winning runs in scoring position with one gone. One down, runner at third. Edgar Caro steps to the plate for the White Sox. What a stop. Fires to first. One down, runner at third. Edgar Caro digs in now. Worm burner into the outfield for a knock. Runner from third in to score. It's an RBI single, tied up at 8-all. One down, runner at third. Edgar Caro now at the plate. The White Sox with the winning run at the plate. And we're in the last half of the 10th. Missed with a changeup. Ball 1. In the air, right field. Brings it in. Runner tags from third. In to score from third. And they've tied it again.
Well, we got ourselves a new ball game. Nice job right there at the plate. Sacrifice fly, and he gets in the tying run.
One down, runner at third. Edgar Caro, the next to hit.
Ball, that's out.
The Cubs trying to close out a one-run lead here in extra innings. That one missed.
Well, this is a little tough for the hitter. In the back of the mind, you're wondering with first base open, am I going to get a pitch to hit? Gotta stay.
And that's a base hit. Runner from third in to score. It's an RBI single, and again, we are tied. So up next, Edgar Carroll.
The goal is to give your teammate a chance to score from third. There's a few ways he can get it done, but his best chance is to drive one in the air. Look for the right pitch up and then smoke it.
The 0-1. On the ground, Swanson. Throw home, not in time. The run scores. What a game. We're one down, runner at third. Edgar Carroll steps to the plate for the White Sox. The 0-1. And a curve is down and in. The tying run is 90 feet away. Ground ball left side. Bregman to first. White Sox down to their final out.
So
one down, runner at third. Edgar Carroll getting ready to hit. Right through there for a strike. Hard ground ball for a base knock. In to score from third. It's an RBI single, and they've tied it again. One down, runner at third. Edgar Carroll digs in now. On the ground to the left. One down, runner at third. Edgar Carroll now at the plate.
Off the plate, ball one.
The White Sox with the tying run at third here in extra innings. Swing and a high fly ball, well struck. That one carrying. And he makes the play on the warning track. Here comes the runner from third. Runner from third in to score. And again, we are one down, runner at third. Edgar Carroll will hit next. On the ground, right side. To the plate, and he's out.
Got him.
Well, there's a lot riding on that at bat right there. Nice job of the pitcher to bear down, make the pitch, get the ground ball. Excellent piece of work.
One down, runner at third. Edgar Carroll, the next to hit. Line drive, base hit. In to score from third. It's an RBI single, tied up at 8-all. One down, runner at third. Edgar Carroll steps to the plate for the White Sox. Lefty the 1-0. Right through there for a strike.
Well, I'm impressed with that challenge pitch right there. Even with this slim lead, this guy's not afraid to go right after these hitters.
Oh, and this one's plastic. High and deep. It's on its way. Out of here. Ball game. Big spot here, bottom of the ninth, down to their final out. And next for the Mets, Tyrone Taylor. Yeah, don't need much damage here, just a base hit. Likely will score 2. Here, bottom 9, and the home team trying to rally to at least tie it up. That one ripped, but foul.
Well, he got challenged with a good fastball right there. Just couldn't catch up.
And that one fouled off.
He's got one already tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if he pops another one here.
This could end it. Base. Big spot here, bottom of the ninth, down to their final out. Here's the left fielder, Tyrone Taylor. Big spot here, bottom of the ninth, down to their final out. Taylor now at the plate. You got to feel like there's a pretty good chance this game is going to turn.
And then appreciate that level of illness, because it is a level of mental illness that is quite rampant in our society. And I'm not saying it's not here, but I'm not here to study that. I'm here to come. I'm here to ignore that, and I'm going to see it in my own country. R.I.P. to Thomas Massey, a man who never came on this show. We invited him many times to come on this show. I am not saying that's the reason he lost, obviously. I think it's more than Miri Matelson spending $32 million. However, would it have hurt to come on the show? Because Ro Khanna, that guy, kept trying to get on the show. And I go, you got to bring in Massey. And then Massey's team would constantly say no. So I feel bad for Massey. I agree with his stance on the Epstein files, release them, and the Iran war and the funding of Israel, and those are the reasons that he's no longer in Congress. I don't know how you run a country where people can just dump $32 million into a race. I think what it's showing you is that if you spend enough money, you can just create any reality you want. No one knows who the hell the other guy is. He was just handpicked, came out of nowhere, was a veteran, was like, we got to get kids back into the military. We got to get them to Iran now. Now, you would think that's probably not a super popular idea. Let's bring back the draft. Let's get your son out of the house and into Iran. You would think that as ideas go, that's probably a relatively hard sell. However, if you spend enough money in American politics, you can create any reality you want. This guy who's like, release the Epstein files, hold people accountable, prosecute pedophiles, get out of foreign wars, that guy loses to a guy who's like, let's cover up the Epstein files, let's not prosecute pedophiles, let's go to war with your kids. You would think just platform to platform, that's a tough sell. Like, that's a hard sell. But with enough money, if you dump enough money into anything in America, you can create. We see it in entertainment. There's some genuinely talented people in American entertainment, some of the most talented people in the world. I'm going to say the most talented people in the world have come out of America. And if you doubt that, go watch Eurovision. Go watch Eurovision. We don't have a good healthcare system. Our food is poisoned. 14-year-olds are shooting their parents. People in my country get famous for killing their children. There's shows about it. There's a lot of things that we're not doing particularly well. But our entertainers are the best in the world. Now, that doesn't mean that they all are.
Base knock right for you.
A lot of them have been pushed by a machine that will not allow you to not like them. You're simply not allowed. The level of ferocity that the level of marketing behind some of our public figures, you are not allowed to not like them. You're not allowed to even be agnostic. You must love them or hate them. They are pushed down your throat to a degree that you must either join the cult that they have, or you must reject it and then, like, put lamb's blood on your door and darken your windows so that these people are not invading every minute of your day. Because in America, we have that power. We have this machine that can get behind anybody and push them to a point where you go, I don't even know if I like this, but fine, okay. And what Miriam Adelson and Paul Singer and others and a lot of these super PACs, very pro-Israel, pro-Iran war, pro-keeping the Epstein files under lock and key, they spent an amount of money that has never been spent before in a congressional race in America. And they spent enough money to take a guy who no one really knew, who ran on a platform that was the opposite of what Trump ran on a year ago. And yet many Republican voters who voted for Trump on the platform of staying out of war and transparency elected this guy, Ed Gallrain, on a platform of like more war, less transparency.
Stands in.
Do you have an Ed Gallrain campaign ad? I don't even know. I'm sure that they exist, obviously, because that's where all the fucking money went. I've only been to Kentucky a few times. I've performed there. The people are great. I wanted to meet that American Pharaoh horse, which won the Triple Crown. They would not let me. Or maybe it was Justify. I think it was American Pharaoh. I think they were afraid it was going to jerk it off or something. I just wanted to take a photo with it. But all those horses are owned by Saudis, and they won't let you near them. And those Saudis spend lots of money on those horses, and they're in stables. And I was trying to get an audience with this horse to take a photo, but because it was owned by some sheikh, I couldn't do it. That has nothing to do with anything. I'm just saying that was my experience in Kentucky. That's not why Ed Gallrain defeated Thomas Massey. Again, that's more than $32 million. I guess is this an ad here with Trump in it? I don't know how this guy sold it to. He's a retired Navy SEAL, so people like that. It's like, I'm a Navy SEAL. Okay, so here's an Ed Gallrain campaign ad, and this is where all the money went. This and other things. And let's take a look at what sold the people. This is a real hero. Ed Gallrain. No one in the back even knows who he is.
This is a guy that can be frustrating.
He's a great patriot. I can tell you the strong as hell. Shook my head.
I'm sure there's some times where pitcher
That is the greatest candidate. This guy is unbelievable.
Look at the heat.
One down.
Fasting. Just
Central casting. Stop it for a minute. Trump literally said central casting. The term central casting means that they've just like, if I look at somebody who looks like a meth head on the street and I go like central casting, that means like that person so embodies the just very general sense of a meth head that I could put them into a film as a meth head and everyone would automatically believe that they were a meth head. When Trump says about Ed Gallrain central casting, what he means is like, we found this guy. It was a war hero. He was a Navy SEAL. He's tall. He's good looking. He's an older guy, but he's like, he presents well. He's central casting. We're putting him in to fool you. He's using the word casting. He's going, yeah, we're putting him in to fool you. He's kind of an actor. I'm sure he was a war hero, whatever. I don't know. And I'm sure he was. I get it. But, like, they're saying we got a real problem with this guy, Thomas Massey, who's relatively physically a little diminutive. He's a shorter guy. He's a nerdy-looking guy, whatever. He's got a great family. Whatever. I'm not shitting on Thomas Massey, but, like, they found this tall ex-Navy SEAL, again, central casting, and they go, no. This guy's the real patriot. Ed Gallrain, he shook my hand. When he shook my hand, he almost broke my hand. And that's how dumb the people in our country are. That's how absolutely stupid. Their brains have rotted in their heads, and they've leaked out of their ears onto their pillow at night. And because of that, when he's got a strong handshake, he's a patriot. And they actually voted for this. This actually worked. Central casting, he shook my hand. That actually worked. Let's watch the rest.
Central casting. Just elected Ed Gallrain.
Just elected. By the way, stop that for a minute. The pitch
Ground to first.
was just elected.
Just foul.
So now
It's
all
like
about
Nike,
protect
just
mode.
do it.
Try to shorten up.
It's like
try
your
to track the
mother
ball,
going, just
block
clean
it
your
if you
room.
have
I don't want
as
to hear
far as
anything.
just a late
The
swing that maybe you're
pitch
not
for
sure
this
about,
guy,
but some way,
after admitting
somehow
he was central
climb back
casting,
into
he's
this
a
at-bat to
selected
the count.
candidate.
That one
The
inside.
pitch
Look
was,
out.
just elect him. He shook my hand. He's got, what a handshake he's got. Just elect this guy,
Out towards
and we
right
won't
center
have any
field.
problems.
Butler. Long run.
Let's finish.
Can't
We only got
reach
3
this
seconds.
one. It gets down. Go ahead run. Holds
You know who
up
doesn't
in
talk
third
at all in
as
that
the ball
commercial?
comes
Ed
back
Galright.
in. Second and third
Ed
after the
Galright
double.
says nothing that entire commercial, that entire ad. Ed Galright says absolutely nothing about anything, and nobody really knows. But I don't know if Bassey's against Citizens United. I think he said he's still not against Citizens United, which allows people to dump billions of dollars into politics. So I don't know how to help anybody. I think you got to get money out of politics in America. And if you don't go to public funding of campaigns, and if you don't get money out of politics, and if you go, Miriam Adelson, who's a U.S. citizen, a dual citizen, but a U.S. citizen, if she's allowed to raise $32 million of her own.
About double or nothing. I'm Renee Paquette, joined for the first time ever with the one and only Mr.
Somebody else's money.
All right,
and
just
spend
about
it
ready for baseball.
in a state she doesn't even live to affect the race of a congressman she doesn't like. If that's the game, then that's the game she's going to play, and other people are going to play. So you've got to change that. You've got to change it on one level or on many levels. You can either end dual citizenship. You can end private money in politics, which I think is a great idea. Super PACs and billions of dollars and raising all this money and letting donors completely control the entire system. But you've got to get on board. You've got to get on board for that. Otherwise, this will happen again and again and again, and it'll just get stupider. Central casting. He shook my hand. They'll just start picking different archetypes of people that are supposed to appeal to you on some guttural lizard brain level. War hero. It'll never be more than a few words. She's a mom who's had enough. And it'll be some mom they trot out, and they'll be like, she's a mom and she's had enough. You won't even know enough of what. They won't even specify what she's had enough of. They won't even do that. They don't have to. She's a mom and she's had enough. And she'll fold her arms like this, and they'll be like, she's pissed. And it'll be some woman that some super PAC, like either the Tech Demons or Adelson or somebody, they will dump tens of millions of dollars into making the quote, mom who's had enough, your next congresswoman, and there'll be nothing you can do about it, because much like everything in our country, you will be inundated with ads. You will be inundated with it is a psyop. Everything in America right now. People get mad when I say this. I don't care. Everything is some type of psyop. And that doesn't mean that you should lose all contact with reality. But what I mean by that, okay, is that, and they're not even good. The psyops are not even good. They're not good. They're effective because you're aiming for the lowest common denominator.
This one in the air, center field.
And what I mean by a psyop is they're literally coming out and inventing people and inventing, and you have to go along with it. And the way they get you to do that is by shoving it down your throat. There's nowhere for you to go. You cannot escape. The only escape from this is death. You can't get away from it. War hero, war hero, war hero, war. They're in Kentucky doing whatever the fuck they do at a Waffle House. War hero, war hero, war hero, war hero. Navy SEAL, handshake, Navy SEAL, war hero, Navy SEAL. To a point where, like a horde of zombies, I guess they go into the voting booth and vote for this guy who's trying to quite literally kill their children. He wants their children dead, but because every day, war hero, Navy SEAL, handshake, war hero, loyal, America, patriot, America. Look, you get to a point you go, I don't even know what's up and what's down, what's real and what's fake. This is what I mean about a psyop. This is not a campaign. These are not campaigns. Not campaigns about ideas where people are debating ideas. This is a psychological operation aimed at the lowest common denominator, lizard brain instincts that you have. War, hero, good, patriot, America, apple, pie, vote, vote. It is a strange, guttural. It's like an EMP. It's like an electromagnetic pulse weapon that Adelson's got in Kentucky. War, good, hero, apple, America, pie, family. It means no. Then you go, what does he want to do? He wants to kill your children. He wants your children in the Middle East getting killed. That's what it is. So we're dealing with such a level, but it's not. This is what bothers me. It's not good if you have a modicum of intelligence. It's not even good. It doesn't even inspire. You can look at things that the government has pulled off and went, wow. They dotted all their I's and they crossed all their T's. Now they have such little respect for you. They have almost no respect for you. You're being treated like an adolescent who is asking too many questions and is, bothering them. Right now, the American public is bothering the government. And the government is dealing with that by making up stories and spending and having their emissaries go out there and say, this is reality. You understand that? As long as you live in my house, you got to live under my rules. And in my house, Ed Galerian is a patriot who wants the best for you and your children who are going to die in the Middle East. They're going to die in Iran.
Okay,
and people are so sick of their children now. And their children there's no prospects for their children, and there's no prospects for their jobs. I have said this before on the show. Now, the boomers, their children are older. But the boomers now are looking at their grandchildren, and because their children have missed the window, although the draft might go up to 42. So the boomers are still very excited about their children dying in a war. It's all they ever wanted. It's all the boomers ever wanted was to have their child go to a Middle Eastern war and get their head blown off. This is their greatest fantasy. They can go around town. They don't have to leave the house for the kid. They can sell the house, take all the money, go to Florida, and cry about their child who got killed in Iran. That's all the boomers have ever wanted, is their children dead in a Middle Eastern war. They get excited about it. It gives them meaning. They love it. They like it. They like songs about people dying in a war, and they don't really mind if it's their own children. In fact, they prefer it. They prefer it. So that's who we're dealing with. That's who we're dealing with. Those are the people that pull the lever for Ed Galerian. They're people that want their children to die, preferably in a faraway Middle Eastern land in a crusade. That's who we've got in this country. That's who's on the back deck of a bar in Florida listening to Van Morrison's Domino. Oh, Domino. And they're swinging the breeze. That's what they want. They want the children dead. I've said it before. I'm not going to keep saying it. So that's why you're getting what you're getting. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how I feel about Morgan & Morgan. It's America's largest personal injury law firm. Whenever I witness an injury or a car accident happen, and I do that a lot. I do it a lot. I witness injuries and car accidents often. And I think automatically, I don't think, are they okay or should I help? I think Morgan & Morgan. I think about law. I think about lawsuits immediately. I think about the exchanging of money. Morgan & Morgan is the largest law firm in America. They have 100 offices nationwide. They have 1,000 lawyers. With over $30 billion recovered for over 500 clients, they have a proven track record of fighting to get you full and fair compensation. By the way, they're why? What did I say? 500 clients, 500,000 clients. I said 500 clients. They have 500,000 clients. Sorry. Their fee is free unless you win. How cool is that? If you're ever injured, check out Morgan & Morgan. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/timber-pound-law. That's forthepeople.com/timber-pound-law. Let them know I sent you. This is a paid advertisement. Scaling a business takes the right expertise and the right time. Upwork helps grow teams quickly, bringing specialized freelancers so you can move faster and take the business to the next level. Hiring help shouldn't be a headache or a drain on your budget. It's a one-stop platform to find, hire, and pay expert freelancers across web and software development, data and analytics, marketing, business operations, and more. Upwork helps you grow your business by giving you fast access to specialized talent across 125 categories. You can fill gaps, launch projects faster, and scale support up or down without committing to a full-time headcount. With Business Plus, you can access the top 1% of talent on Upwork. With AI-powered short listing, you'll get matched to the right freelancer in under 6 hours. No endless searching required. Upwork also cuts down operational hassle by handling things like contracts and payments in one place, so you can spend time running the business. Visit Upwork.com/TIM right now and post your job for free. That's Upwork.com/TIM to connect with top talent ready to help your business. That's Upwork, UPWORK.com/TIM, Upwork.com/TIM. Now, this economic fallout, by the way, is bad. And they're saying there's going to be a major food crisis in 6 months. And that people are not going to be able to get food. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz is not a temporary disruption, says Politico, but the start of a systemic shock to global food prices. So now, because by the way, we talked about it up here, Sporting the other day, fertilizer, things like this, that move through the Straits of Hormuz, by the way, are not moving. So it's hurting everything. It's hurting agriculture. Decisions now by farmers and governments on fertilizer use, imports, financing, and crop choices will determine whether food prices spike later this year or in early 2027. You know who this hurts the most? Eli Lilly and the makers of the GLP-1s. The makers of the GLP-1s depend on the fact that on this planet right now, in a lot of the Western countries, specifically the one I live in, we have a lot of fashionable badges. And Eli Lilly has, and many other companies are now coming up with these GLP-1 drugs that help people eat less. Great. If the food stops showing up at the grocery store, people are going to have to, or it's too expensive, people are going to have to starve naturally the way they did in the Great Depression. So no more injectables, no more GLP-1s. People are just going to have to go to bed with an empty stomach like an orphan from Oliver Twist. And the only people that will be fat will be rich people who can afford the food prices. Then you go back to the Great Depression. And that's what may happen. And by the way, that might be the plan. The government of our country might say, listen, we're going to go back to workhouses and gruel. Please, sir, may I have some more? We might be heading in that direction. Because Trump has come out and said, I don't think about the financial situation of Americans. We're just going to go to war. We're a war nation now, and too bad if you can't eat. It's going to cost you too much money to feed your children. Therefore, they have to go to Iran. It all works together, folks. It all links up together. Kevin O'Leary doesn't want your kids to eat. Let's get up Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary, Shark Tank guy, friend of the show. Don't sue me, Kevin O'Leary. I know he sues people a lot that talk about him. All these billionaires sue people, by the way. I don't like that. I don't like the suing. You hear that? Costume designers? We don't like this. The legality of everything. What is wrong with people? When did this start? When everybody just grabbed lawyers and everybody wanted to sue everybody. And I mean, that's the only thing we have left in our country is to sue people for anything and everything we don't like. Here's Kevin O'Leary talking about that. Now, I don't hate Kevin O'Leary. I don't really know him. I've never met him. I was going to buy a condo in the building he lived in Miami years ago, and I never did. I think Shark Tank's a fine show. It's whatever. But he's building this really big data center in Utah. And a lot of people are unhappy with that because and AI is getting booed everywhere. We're going to play those commencement speeches later. But Kevin O'Leary's now on the podcast talking. He was on Tucker, and he's talking about, hey, all technological advancements are great no matter what. This is the party line. This is the party line, by the way. All tech is good. No tech is bad. Everything's good. Every advancement is good. That's someone's phone. Sorry. Is that mine? Can't be mine. That's all right. It's a British producer. Should we answer it? Who is it? Is anyone important? We'll never know. Did you get was it a scam call? All right, it's our British producer. She's a lovely person. The British are very loved. They're very reserved, a lot of the British. Not up north, but here. Up north, they're kind of more like America. But here, if you go up to Liverpool or Manchester, they have, they've got pumped up lips and they've got fake tanner and they're fighting in the street. They're beating each other in the street and they're drunk and they're eating kebabs and kebab sauce is falling out of their mouth as they pummel someone who bothered them. That's, you know what I mean? But here it's more prim and proper, tea and sandwiches and food smelling, and the Arabs and everybody's rich, and it's Harrods and it's Knightsbridge and it's Ferraris and it's sexy and it's prep school, London, proper little gentlemen in their suits and they're, and everybody's pale and, that's kind of that. But then up north, you just have more of like, it's sort of more of a culture of, kind of gypsies and people that just like to throw hands in the street. I kind of like that. There's something fun about that to me. But I don't have time to get up there this trip, but next time I will. But Kevin O'Leary, friend of the show from Shark Tank, is now basically telling you're not allowed to have lunch. Remember they ran an article a few months ago I talked about where they go, you don't need a dining room? They said people just are realizing they don't need to sit and have a dining room, and then you don't have a family. No one believes in God, so there are no holidays. You don't have a family. Why do you need more than one room where you can just sit in the corner and cry? This is what they say. And now they're coming out and going, why are you having lunch? What do you need to do with lunch? So basically, they just want to push you into a form that is not human. Because they're going to replace you with technology. They're quite clear about that. And in order to compete with technology, they very much like you to stop eating and sleeping and doing anything that might get in the way of your productivity. So here's Kevin O'Leary talking about people eating lunch and why that's becoming a problem. He talks about the financial investment that people make in eating a lunch. Kevin O'Leary.
Can't stand it when I see kids that are making $70,000 a year spending $28 for lunch. I mean, that's just stupid. It's just, think about that in the context of that being put into an index and making it some 8 to 10% of your
Right. So here's for the next 50 years, by the way, because everyone's got a 50-year plan. Doesn't everyone have a 50-year plan? When you go to get a panini, don't you say, I'd rather put this money in my index fund over the next 50 years?
Good pitch right
Here's
there.
the problem with this. Number one, lunch costs $28. That's what it costs. Lunch is expensive. It's expensive. It's not cheap. If you work in an office and they're paying you $70,000 a year, not because you're worth that or because they're electing to pay you $70,000 a year, you're taking that because it's an available job. Now, is that a true statement of your value as an employee? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It's case specific. But he's using the example of somebody who's getting paid $70,000 a year. So that person now either has to make lunch and bring it to the office, which I'm not saying is a terrible thought, but if that person wants to go and purchase a lunch, a salad, a sandwich, a yogurt parfait plus a coffee, he's basically saying that if you're spending $28 on lunch, you're some kind of crackhead. That's what he's saying. You're like a crackhead who's financially irresponsible. You're like a shivering on the street, crack addict, because you stood in a line and spent $16 on a salad and $3.50 on a drink, and with tax and with the donation to the Child Cancer Fund, you ended up spending $26.50 on lunch, and you're a crackhead. You're a financially irresponsible drug addict, and you should be treated as such. You're stupid. He goes, that's stupid. You're stupid, and you're an idiot because you didn't go and make yourself a tuna sandwich or a turkey sandwich and bring it into work. And by the way, how much cheaper is that? Not that much cheaper. Go to the grocery store. It's not that much cheaper because we've decided to fight and lose a war with Iran, by the way. So it's not that much cheaper to buy groceries. Now, it is cheaper. But how much cheaper, I don't know. But Kevin O'Leary's point is basically like, hey, crackhead. Hey, crackhead, junkie drug addict. Get off the line at your salad, you junkie drug addict. Don't add the guacamole at Chipotle, you drug addict. There used to be the days of the 3-martini lunch. People would spend 2 hours at Smith & Walensky's getting bombed and having fun and enjoying their life. Now people eat a bowl of slop, and they're not even allowed to do that. They don't even want them doing that. They don't even want them doing that. You go and you get a bowl of slop. What's the base? What base would you like? Grain? Green? Grain or green? They talk to you with words, singular words. Grain or green? Green. Or if you have to stay at work longer, you need some carbs. Grain. I'll have grain. Meat. Chicken. I'll have the two. And it's always some, like, word you can't pronounce, some spice, some, I'll have the achochi chicken, achochi chicken. Grain or green? Grain. Meat. Chicken. Vegetables. Peppers. Corn. Spinach. Sauce. The cilantro lime chipotle, and they throw it at you, and that is what they want to take away. That you can't do that even. You used to go to Smith & Walensky's in New York City or the 21 Club or wherever, and I'm sure there's equivalents of this in London, and you would sit there and they would bring you a gin martini. Hello, sir, how are you? Would you like a steak or a shrimp cocktail? And you'd have a cigarette? And yeah, you died because you ate unhealthy food, but guess what? Do you think any of those people want another 10 years eating grain, green? They go, what the hell's this? Put me back in the fucking ground. Now, people got healthier, the 3-martini lunch ended, things evolved. I get it. I'm not saying it's the best idea to drink in the middle of the day, but compare that life to what you're doing now. And not only that, they won't allow this. They won't allow it. They go, you can't spend $28 on a bowl of dog food. You want to get some moderately healthy, organic, non-GMO dog food before getting in the elevator and going back to your desk to live a meaningless life devoid of purpose, and then going back to your overpriced condo with no dining room and slinking down onto your couch and jerking off to very violent porn before falling asleep on your bed after taking 4 edibles, waking up in the middle of the night with a panic attack, and then doing it all again the next day? Why are you spending money on lunch? Why would you spend money to just punctuate this horrific life we've created with a little bit of a panini, a ciabatta, with a caprese salad? Why would you do it? Why wouldn't you, in that horrible life we've created, make a sandwich and bring it to work in a paper bag or a lunchbox and put it in the refrigerator so that you could save $45 a week, $60 a week, and put it in an index fund so that in 50 years, then you can, I don't even know what the hell you do. I don't even know what you would do with that money in 50 years. When everybody's a bionic human being and most of these people have left the goddamn planet. You're going to be sitting here with your index funds in whatever Mordor these people have created. You're going to go, well, thank God I didn't have lunch for 30 years and I invested in this index fund so that now I have the money to buy the gear to fight the robot army that is surrounding my house. Guys, what are we thinking? You think this is going to be, you think this thing's going to look good in 50 years? No, just stop being a doom and gloomer. There's always been people like you that don't believe in the future. They're telling you they want you to not have a job and not own anything. They're coming out and telling you that's not a secret. They're telling you, they're going in front of kids that just spent 4 years, took out a shitload of student loans. Can you get up this Goldman Sachs CEO, this guy who, he's a DJ at Surf Lodge in the Hamptons? It's fucking disgusting. I'm starting to hate the Hamptons. I'm moving to fucking London.
Hello.
I'm going to be a goddamn gentleman before I die, and it's going to be in fucking
How you doing, Jerry?
Going to live in Knightsbridge like a person and convert to Islam. If something's been off in the bed.
Hello, thanks for being here. Conquest mode. Hey, this map isn't going to fill itself. Go conquer the Braves. The time is now. Chris Sale, the starting pitcher for the home team. Important to avoid quick outs in this mode. But if you see a pitch you like, you got to go for it. Who knows how many chances you'll get. Ryan Waldschmidt leads things off, and here we go from Atlanta.
Number 15.
First pitch of this conquest matchup is in there for a strike. Sale pours one in the zone for a strike. Swung on and belted. And it's a foul ball. The 0-2 now. I would have swung there. Keeps the lights on. Pounds one deep. Acuna sprinting towards it. And that bangs off the wall. Throw from the outfield goes to second. In there, and that's a double. Javier Baez ready to go with the go-ahead run in scoring position. In the air, out to right. Acuna drifts under it. Waldschmidt tags up. And it comes in too late. He's up to third on the flyout with one away. Sung-Mun Song steps up with the go-ahead run at third. Now a blooper back behind first. That's a base hit as a run scored. And they strike first as they take a 1-0 lead. Who needs luck when you got stick skills like this? Carlos Correa next to hit after the RBI single. Hard hit down the line and left. And that drops foul. Correa waits. Foul ball. Refusing to go down. That was perfect destruction. Did you hear the sound that made? Kiss that ball goodbye. And now that gives them a 3-run lead. Tyler Kinley pitching now, and they're going with a silver card. He's into the game with the bases empty. In the air to center. Harris gets there. He's under it. Brings it in. Now 2 away. Now a chance for Spencer Jones. Swing and a miss. He was late. 0-2 is the count. Fastball. Strike 3. Inning over. The Equiminicans played 3 runs in the frame. It's a 3-run game. Noah Schultz gearing up to start the bottom of the first. Do your best to set the tone by committing to your pitches. I don't want you nibbling around the plate. Get in the zone and stay there. Ozzie Albies ready to roll. The pitch. This one popped up. Torkelson waiting for it. Pulls it down, and he makes the catch. Michael Harris II steps to the plate for Atlanta. Out of the zone for a ball. 2-0 is the count. That's smacked on the line to center. Base hit. Matt Olson at the dish with a runner on first. That pitch had a parachute attached. Goes back to the changeup. Runner on the move. And that's a stolen base, not even close. It's Ronald Acuna Jr. stepping up. He says his pregame meal is cereal. Claims the sugar rush fuels his speed. Hey, whatever it takes. That was Phil. Harris stands at second with 2 gone. Starts with a pair of sinkers. The 1-1 now. Cut on and misses. Dylan Dodd comes in the game out of the bullpen. In the air, headed to right. Acuna galloping towards it, and that's a foul ball. And the pitch. Swung on and driven deep. It's not coming back. Gone. It's a solo homer. Tops Now series represent. Spencer Torkelson comes to the plate after the leadoff homer. Swings, puts it on the ground to the left side. Riley fires the first. One gone now. Next to the plate in this 3-inning game, Ryan Ward. Ripped on a line. Hauls it in, and there's 2 away. Hit hard, up the middle, and that's a base hit. So he gets on base and keeps it going. Javier Baez in the box with a runner on first. Riley. That ends the frame. Top half of the second is complete. Welcome back. 4 runs separating these two teams at the moment. Drake Baldwin gets us going this inning. Money. Caro glamping under it. Hauls it in. Leadoff hitter retired in the second. Austin Riley strolls to the dish to square off against a member of the Tops Now series. Pure electricity. Misses the plate for a ball. Fastball doesn't catch the zone. Strike 3 looking frozen like a pizza. Next up for the Braves, Sean Murphy. 0-1 the count. Swings, it's a ground ball up the middle. Inning over. That was a quick. Reynaldo Lopez takes the hill to start the 3rd inning of play. Song in the box now and takes strike 1. Lopez gets the swinging strike. Unloads the fastball off the plate. Fouls off that slider to stay alive. Swung on and connects. That's a knock as they get a runner on base. Carlos Correa at the dish with a runner on first. Sent one to a different zip code earlier. This one smashed down the right field line. And it's foul. Equiminican with a runner at first. Thinking outside the box. Went with the slider for a strike. Gets a piece of the 2-strike fastball. Line drive, sliced the other way. That's a base hit. Runner holds at second. They didn't want to test that cannon in right. Edgar Kara up now with 2 runners on base. Oh, 1 to start. That's a base hit. And now the bases are loaded. Good quick throw in kept that to a single. They don't score. Daysbel Hernandez handed the rock out of the bullpen. He comes in, bases loaded. This is not going to be easy. Jones, the next to hit, takes ball one. One 0, delivers. Foul ball. Goes foul. On a line. Harris moves under this one. Song tags from third. Dubon with a relay throw. In there safely.
Hey!
House takes the ball as he stands in for the second time. Goes back to the slider. Lifts the slider. Acuna camping under it. Puts it away for the out. Next to hit, Spencer Torkelson. He's 0 for 1 so far today. That's ripped to right, down the line. And that will drop foul. Righty sets, kicks, fires. Lined into right center field. Base hit. And it scores a run. Now the throw comes in. Runner holds at third. Ryan Ward comes to the plate following the pitching change. A swing-free zone. Here's the 1-0. There's a line drive to left field. Base hit. One-run score. Ryan Waldschmidt comes to the plate after the 2 RBI single. On the ground up the middle. It finds its way through for a hit. Throw stops the lead runner at second. 2 on with 2 outs. The tag, and that's out. Back in the final frame. The end is in sight, and things are looking up. You've got a sizable lead, and just 3 outs away from a Diamond Dynasty win. Swings, and this one is smashed. Where will this one come down? It soars over the wall here at Truist Park for a home run. Eli White gets a chance to keep chipping away at the deficit following the home run. That won't hurt the ego, huh? Strike 3, and only 2 outs to go. Ozzie Albies steps to the plate. First pitch is a strike. That was a caffeinated beverage. Won't go away. A base hit. That is frustrating. You had him right where you wanted him. Michael Harris II in the box with a runner on first.
Oh, that's it.
Singled and stole a base first time up. Attacks the sweeper. Waldschmidt chasing after it. It looks like trouble. Baez relay to third. Safe. Slides in just ahead of the tag. And a run scores on the play. Matt Olson at the dish now following the RBI triple. Cruising toward the clubhouse with a big lead. It's a good day at the office. That's a strikeout, and now just one out away from a win. Down to the final out here at Truist Park. Base hit and a run in to score. And that's a two-out double. Drake Baldwin comes to the plate following the RBI double. Got him in a blender. Falls behind 0-2 after seeing consecutive fastballs. And you lock down the stronghold.